My teacher Craig often says that there's two hearts. There's the spiritual heart and there's the emotional heart. When we first feel into our heart, usually what we come across is the emotional heart. We feel the pain around our heart. We feel the pain over our heart. We feel the contraction of the emotional heart. But as well as having the emotional heart, we also have a spiritual heart. And a big part of my journey over the last several years has been in coming back into and placing my value within the spiritual heart. Now what do I mean by that? What is meant by that? Well, what I've found is that no matter what's arising within my experience, no matter how intense my internal experience is, no matter what emotions are going on, no matter what energies are moving through me, no matter what's going on with my body, with my mind, with my emotions, with my thoughts, it's possible to tap into the spiritual heart, to feel into the spiritual heart. And the doorway into this, a doorway that I found into this, is you just, no matter what's going on in your experience, you don't try and change any of it. You don't try and change your thoughts. You don't try and change your emotions. You don't try to change anything. Instead, you just sense into and notice a subtle sense of goodness within your experience. It might be very slight, very subtle sense of goodness within your experience. Can you sense, can you register a subtle sense of warm okayness, no matter what is arising on the surface of experience? There have been times where I've been driven absolutely crazy by my mind, with my body in an intense fight and flight response. And I've sat down and it's felt like there's been nothing I can do to resolve this. No technique, no method, nothing could resolve this state of fear, panic, and intense thinking that I was in. And then I would just sit, staying present, not allowing myself to be a victim to the state. I'm just going to let my dog in. Not allowing myself to feel like a victim to the state. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're interrupting my video. You silly little sausage. You silly little sausage. No, I'll show you my dog. I will get back to this. Say hello. Say hello. Alright, be good now. Let me finish this video. Yeah, I would sit with this fear, this panic arising within my body. And that would come into the thinking and was creating this intense thinking, and there's nothing, no trick, no method I could use to get out of it. All I could do was sit. And I wouldn't allow myself to be a victim to it. I would sit and be present with it. Sit within the storm of the thought, emotion spinning, within the storm of this intense emotional thought, trauma reaction, whatever you want to call it. No technique would work, no method would work. And then I just started to sense into something within my experience which felt warmly okay. This subtle sense of warm okayness in my heart that was there irrespective of what was arising within my body and my mind. A slight sense of goodness inside, a slight sense of warm okayness inside my own heart. And there was a subtle smile in that. A subtle smile in the midst of the inner storm. And so I just placed my attention there, in that subtle smile. Not trying to change my thoughts, not trying to change my body, not trying to do anything to change the experience I was having. Just staying with that subtle smile, with that little place of warm okayness that I could just feel inside. And when I place my attention in that, when I start appreciating that place, when I feel that place, I come to know that place, and I come to start appreciating that place, then that warm okayness started to grow. That warm okayness started to grow. Started to grow, started to grow. And the suffering mind emotion made self on the surface of the experience started to fade. And that warm okayness that started out with just a tiny little taste that I could only just feel started to grow. And I'd stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, until that tiny place of warm okayness, that tiny subtle smile inside, grew into an ocean of beingness, into the feeling of an ocean of beingness.